Alright, welcome back to A1 Collectors. It's going to be the third part of this, rumors and thoughts and questions, and so I'm going to kind of go into two areas. One, what figures did I not get? And you can look around so I can, maybe you know. And B, what demographic should Enterbay reach? And what I mean by that, should they go for, they spend more time, let's get more of the current players, or should we go for those who have already played the game and now are retired and are Hall of Fame or Hall of Extremely Very Good and things like that? And then, some of my questions is the ones I didn't get, and the ones I do have, are there guys that shouldn't have been made? And so let's just kind of start off with the guys I didn't get. Okay, I didn't get Derrick Rose, and I didn't get Dennis Rodman. One was the opportunity never happened. I'm not totally against it. Two is on the figure side, especially with Dennis Rodman. I heard the head is not fitting for the body. The head is really small compared to the body. A lot of people complained about that. I will say all the figures that I do have. There's one that's a little small. It's the new Jordan All-Star version. Now I have a regular jersey on him, but the All-Star, the head's a little bit smaller than this one or this one compared to the body. It doesn't, fit as well, but it's not much smaller. I put them together. There is a difference, but it's not super noticeable. Okay. So that was one thing that people said about Dennis Rodman, that the head's, really small compared to the body, so it looks kind of, funky and stuff like that. And two, I wasn't a huge Rodman fan. I was a Bulls fan. I grew up in southeast Wisconsin, just an hour north of Chicago, and 45 minutes south of Milwaukee. And I did like the Bucks, but I liked the Bulls a lot. I loved Jordan, had his shoes, Pippen, and I liked Rodman. He was part of that season when they had the best record. Okay, so I'm not just against it, but I'm just not dying to get Rodman. Now, if somebody wants to trade him, I've got a lot of hot toys to be willing to trade. Hit me up, KCODELL1212 at yahoo.com, and give me an offer. I'd love to get them. I'm just not dying to get them. And as for Derrick Rose, just the opportunity never came. But B, there was a lot of discussion, and I think he was well done. I'm not saying that, but a lot of discussion was he really worthy of a figure? There are lots of players who said he should have made Dwayne Wade over him. He would have been a way better choice. That was the one I heard quite a bit, was Dwayne Wade. What about Kevin Garnett? I heard just other players, even Chris Bosh. Different people were mentioning different guys. They could have had like Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, and LeBron James have like the big three. Which would have made sense at that time. But now LeBron's with Cleveland. So that didn't make sense. So there was, quite a few concerns. And ever since the figure was made and he won the MVP, the guy's been MIA, missing in action. So somebody must have bought a doll and turned it into a voodoo doll, cast a spell on him, and every time, they get mad, they stab him and he becomes injured again. That's kind of what's happened for him. And he's made some dumb remarks about, can't wait to hit free agency because I need money for my son, and I want to be able to, walk for my daughter's high school graduate. Just weird stuff. So it's a little off, but you would never would have heard guys like that saying stuff like that back in the olden days. So, anyways, now I'm gonna kind of go into demographic here. I have some retired players and I have some active players. The way I kind of look at it, I've got 3 Jordans, that's retired. Pippen, that's 4, that's retired. I have 2 of Shaq, that's 6. Allen Iverson at 7, and Kobe, even though he's still playing, I almost consider him 8. And here's the reason why: is that he's been playing since 96 or whatever. Came in the same draft as AI, and he's a year older. He's my age, basically, same age as I am, 38. He's at a reputable thing, so I think that he would be considered somebody in that era, even though he's still playing today. So those guys. Okay, then I have some actives. I got Jeremy Lin, not because I thought he was great. My kids like him, and I got him for a really cool trade. And when I got him, I wasn't real happy because it was all dirty, but that's another story. Kevin Durant, I think that he is right on the border of really being a worthy player of somebody. He's won a lot of scoring titles and things like that. Last year he was injured. He won the MVP. So between these two, I'd give him a C-, where I'd give Kevin Durant a solid B+, So he's right there, Blake Griffin, no, I don't think he was worthy to have a figure made. I've discussed that before. I got him for a Father's Day gift, and they had a discount at Clark's toy store for him. It was the last figure they had left, so I got him for $140. He was a take back, so, and that's with shipping and everything, so I got it for that price. You know, and then there's LeBron. I customized him in Cavs. I think he is a worthy one. So those four. So taking all that, okay, just what I've looked and seen and discussed, this is very subjective, but the average age for collecting these basketball figures really comes down to 28 to 50 range, 48 range. I've seen people, people I've talked to, they're, I'm in the middle of that range. That's the majority of people collect them, and some majority of those age groups have watched players that are now retired. You got guys that I've talked to that, their heyday was when Magic and Bird started in the end of the 70s and basically dominated the 80s. And then mine, where it was partly 80s, but it was more early 90s when Jordan took over. And guys like he and Charles Barkley, Dominique Wilkins, Clyde Drexler, those kind of guys were the guys that were, were the great players of the time. And then you've got the 2000s where you had Kobe, you had Allen Iverson, you had Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady, and those guys that kind of dominated the league, and Shaq and stuff like that. But Shaq was kind of more actually early 90s when he came on the scene, and mid 90s, and then he played even in 2000. So anyway, so what kind of demographics should they go for? My personal opinion is spend more time getting some of the retired players. Get some new ones, but it just seems like Enterbay has no rhyme or reason. Okay, we're going to do Derrick Rose. Okay, let's do Dennis Rodman. Okay, let's do Blake Griffin, Kobe Bryant. So and so. And I don't know. I don't know what their process of selection is. Maybe just maybe it's really hard to get guys to do it. I don't know. But when I've seen with other toy companies that make basketball figures, I've pretty much seen every guy being able to be made. So I just don't know what the licensing, all that kind of stuff. I would imagine that the retired players are more expensive to get to sign on because their figures in general more, usually about $30 more a piece than the active players. There's one new active player that I know of that's coming out, is Stephen Curry. He's out, but not in the States yet. He makes sense, he won the finals, scoring, all those types of things. I like that pick, but let's make some guys that are retired. I would say the top of that list would be Larry and Magic. Maybe make a two-pack, I don't know. Some people might not like that, but get the yellow and green jersey. I mean, that's just iconic. Get the, purple and white. I think the yellow and green are just iconic. Seeing those two together, playing against each other. That would be, they wouldn't be my top pick, but I think most people say that would be those two guys, to make. Then, Charles Barkley, he's a big-time player. I like, personally, the two guys I like that were some of Jordan's top opponents were Clyde Drexler and Dominique Wilkins. I'd love to see the human highlight film. That guy was, Dominique was probably one of the most underrated ball players. To me, it's kind of like the Kevin Durant of the late 80s, early 90s. I mean, he was just phenomenal, okay? Just a great player. And same with Clyde Drexler. I think he was just a great player. And so, if you ask me, I would say focus more on the retired players. I'd like to get your feedback on that. Hit me up, KCODELL 1212 at yahoo.com, or comment below. Let me know who you think they should make and why. And I would just be kind of curious, because I think that there's a lot of potential to make some really cool figures. And I don't know if we could influence Enterbay or not, but I just think that it just seems everything seems so random. There just doesn't seem a rhyme or reason to who and what is selected and how they're selected, jerseys, all that stuff. It just seems everything's just so disconnected. I'd like to just see this, where Hot Toys, it's like they have their theme, where they're going. Other companies have their niche. Where Enterbay, I just think, get a niche and go with it and figure out what you want to do and make it so it's, that they go together and have a good collection type. So that's all I got. Thanks. Have a great day. God bless. And I'm out, and give me your feedback. Thanks. Bye.